So we'll find out in a minute whether I've gone the correct way or not. No idea at all.
Hiya, is that Colin, the wedding photographer?
I can't believe it. She's done it again. Hey everyone, I'm back with another exciting solo adventure in my camper van Jeff, and I'm taking you guys along for the ride. Later on in this video there'll be a campsite tour and I'll be visiting what I hope to be something beautiful to photograph, so it'd be lovely if you could stick around. And just before you get settled, it would be super fabulous if you could subscribe to the channel, as it really helps when you do. Now, I'll pass you over to me to explain what's happening today.
Good morning everybody, I'm still here at Sedbergh Holidays, last week's campsite, and if you've not seen that video I'll pop it in the description below. And my legs are sore from yesterday's walk, so I'm heading somewhere this morning that hopefully will be a little bit easier on the legs, and then we'll head off to another campsite that I can't wait to show you later on in this video.
I'm still at the mercy of Michelle though, because she's booked all my campsites this week, and last night's campsite was so lovely that I'm a little bit anxious as to what tonight's going to bring. No idea, absolutely no idea. I've just got a postcode and a location, so yeah, we'll find out later on in the video.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run.
So I've arrived at the Cross Keys Inn at Sedbergh, no idea how you pronounce it, and I'm going to a place that's actually been suggested by a subscriber. So let's don the walking boots, go see what all the fuss is about, and hopefully there's some photography opportunities too. But first, I think I need a pot noodle. Right then, pot noodle done, time to go. Lovely. After walking over the bridge and seeing the views, I was surprised by the epicness of this place. Obviously made better by the weather, but I'm definitely coming back to explore more of this area in the not too distant future. But one little annoying thing was bothering me. Why, oh why was the weather not like this yesterday? And if you've yet to see that video, that was last week. I'll do a little snippet of what I had to go through while I'm talking now. And that was yesterday for me, but last week for you, I think. But I'm back in Yorkshire and my blood pressure's gone down and everyone's saying hello. I've just seen the most Yorkshire thing ever. A farmer and his wife sat on the front of a quad with a sheepdog on it. You know, just all of the Yorkshire. It's where basically the centre of the universe is. Everything started here during the Big Bang. In fact, the Big Bang was Yorkshire, just going, right, okay, let's make a substandard rest of the world and the universe, but we'll make sure Yorkshire's perfect. I don't know what I'm talking about. Obviously, there's some beautiful places out and about other than Yorkshire, but us Yorkshire folk do like to go on about how beautiful Yorkshire is. So even though I drove past the Welcome to the Yorkshire Dales National Park sign, it would seem that Sedbergh and Courtly Spout are actually in what was traditionally the West Riding of Yorkshire but is now the administrative county of Cumbria. That now explains the random nosebleed and will keep the internet off my back for a bit. So if you've not guessed already, I'm off to a waterfall. And the waterfall in question is called Courtly Spout. Now I've been calling it Courtly Sprout and I've had to do about 1,000 takes. It looked a lot flatter than this when I searched. And my legs are a little bit in bits still. And it's quite evident now I've set off that they could do with a longer rest. So I'm going to pop up here onto this little mound just over here because I've got my 200mm lens. I've got some filters with me this time, nice, and then I'm going to see if we can get a nice photograph of that waterfall and see if I can get some nice infrared photos as well. Who knows? Who knows? So I first started taking this photograph with the waterfall centre shot, and then I'm like,
it just looks like we're at the same height. There's no real kind of perspective. So then I moved the waterfall to the top half of my image, which then meant you got the drop and the valley bit, and it's really, really nice. I quite like it as an image. I've put a polarizing filter on it, and I've done the smoky water trails. I know some of you watching don't like that, and I have taken some without the water trails, but I really like that look, and being zoomed in at 200mm on something that I don't have to walk to is brilliant, especially when my legs are so knackered. But anyway, this is not a photography channel. I just thought some of you might be interested in what I'm doing. I am shooting on the Sony a7 III with a Sony f4 70-200 at 200mm, and my settings are f18, 1/5 of a second, ISO 50 with a polarizing filter on it. So now what I'm going to do is take some pictures with my modified camera. This is a Sony NEX5N. It's been on my shelf for about 10 years, gathering dust, thinking, it's just a showpiece now of something that once was. However, I watched a YouTube video the other day, and it showed me how to take certain filters out of the center of this, so then it became basically an infrared camera, and then I put a filter on the front, which is 530 nanometers. It's an adjustable one. I can go up to 750 nanometers in a freaking bee. Anyway, I'm going to take some photographs with this, because with the sun out, it means I can get some nice photographs. I think it's not to everybody's taste, but I quite like the look. It's just a bit different in it. Something else to do. So the walk isn't actually that far. It only took me about 30 minutes to get from the van to where I can see this waterfall here, and it's lovely, totally worth coming, even if you just want to come to this bit. But if your legs are up for it, there's a path that goes all the way up the side there, takes you up the side of the waterfall, you get a really close view of it. My legs are done, and I'm not going up that. I won't get back down again. Right, let's get this camera gear away, head down to the van, and have a drive to the campsite and see what that's all about. Nice. That? Hello?
Hiya, is that Colin, the wedding photographer?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
Yeah, the one with the quiff and the Volkswagen.
That's correct.
Yeah, right, well listen mate, I've been noticing your videos have been popping up on my YouTube feed a lot recently, and I can't help but notice you seem to be practicing landscape photography more and more these days.
Oh, I know what this is. It's proper mint landscape photography, isn't it?
Yeah, right, well the reason I'm calling basically is to ask you to stop, okay? You don't see me driving around in a white Volkswagen, gelling my quiff and fondling it in the rearview mirror, do you?
No, I don't.
You don't see me walking around campsites and showing people the toilets, do you?
But
You don't see me getting giddy by a campfire under a cheap pull-out awning, do you?
I'm a Yorkshireman. Everything I own is cheap. But yeah, I don't see you doing that in your videos.
No, exactly. So basically, I'm calling you to tell you to stop, okay? Landscape photography is my domain, and if you don't pack it in, I'll be flipping well reporting you. All right? Yeah, bye. Idiots.
Reporting me? Well, I won't be buying volume 2 then. Let's get to this campsite. Does anybody want some toilet roll in the shape of a book?
Anyway, where was I? That's it. I then headed on to the next campsite, still pretty wary of what Michelle had booked for me. But I was in my van, happy, looking forward to settling down for another wonderful evening, without Thomas Heaton's book. But before all that could happen,
I've just gone down a road that I had to turn round and do like a 5,000 point turn from, because it said that there was a bridge that was only 1.8 metres wide or something, so I couldn't go that way. And now I've gone down this track that seems to be going on forever. I've just gone through a gate. Didn't say private access or anything like that. There was an arrow and a sign that said Home Farm. Now I don't know whether that's Home Farm or Home Farm Campsite. So we'll find out in a minute whether I've gone the correct way or not. No idea at all. But this road is getting narrower and narrower. I keep trying to find places that could potentially turn round just in case. But I do this so you don't have to. I'm sure there's an easier way in.
yeah, there was, Colin.
Because it were a bit, it's a bit scratchy on side of van.
Eventually arriving at the campsite, I spoke to the lovely owner who let me know that there was a much easier way in from the main road.
I can't believe it. She's done it again. Not only can I have electric hookup, but I'm also allowed fire pits. Yes! Get in. Well done, Michelle. In fact, I'm going to get you some flowers and a bottle of wine. But what I might do is drink half the bottle of wine to make up for the first campsite that were kind of abandoned, but not really. I'm a bit confused. If you've not seen that video, then I'll put a link in the description below so you can go watch that one. Yes, thank you, Michelle. Legend. Right then, I think I'm going to apply some magic to this setup, and I'm going to set up in 3, 2, 1. Nice. Look at that. The magic even made me a cup of coffee in my Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures mug. Now I can sit back, relax, and have my coffee. But for now, I'm going to show you some of my favourite pictures that I took today. Let me know in the comment section below which one you liked the most. And also, let me know what you think of the infrared ones. I'm still unsure. I had fun doing it, but I'm still unsure. Enjoy.
So after all that faff, I wasn't happy with my final image. It's okay, but I know I can do much better. But then I switched out to my infrared camera and everything changed. I was in my element, snapping away at various scenes in the bright midday sunshine, like I was new to photography all over again. Sadly though, these images don't come out of the camera looking like this. They mainly have a red hue to them. The black and white images was a simple process of converting them to black and white in Lightroom, but with the images that contain colour, albeit not real colour, a bit of Photoshop wizardry is needed. I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, but for an almost 14-year-old camera, I'm super happy with the results.
Oh, it's that time of year now. Do you know where it's lovely and warm during the day, but then as soon as that sun goes away, it's freezing. So I think I'm going to be cooking in the van again tonight because the wind just blows the burner out. I probably have to invest in one of those wind shields that goes on a table, which will be absolutely fine. But for now, I'm going to have to cook inside, which really annoys me because the van still smells like burgers, curry, and the fish and roasties that I had the other day. Really annoying. Speaking of food, I'm hungry, so let's get some dinner on.
So while I'm cooking a pretty boring, simple meal, here are some views from the campsite. Coming up, Colin answers your questions, the campsite tour, and the all-important outtakes.
So it's a bit later on now. I've had dinner, I've had a shower, I've just got the fire pit on, and now it's time for
Colin answers your questions.
And the first question that I'm being asked is, have you thought about doing the NT500? The short answer is no, not yet, but we do want to do it and we will be doing it. It's just that we're trying to figure out timings, dates, and how to film it as well, because we want to do it slightly different to all of the other videos that we see on YouTube by some amazing creators. And that's just the little stumbling blocks that we're coming across at the moment, but we will get there, and I am sure we will do the NT500 and we will film it in our own little unique way. And the next question that I'm being asked, have you got new walking boots? What are they? And are they any good? They are the most comfortable walking shoes I've ever worn. And I kid you not, they're like walking on air. This summer, I turned the ripe old age of 43. And rather than a piece of me falling apart, my actual walking boots fell apart. So for my birthday, my family clubbed together and got me some amazing new walking boots. I put the model of them down here. They're by Scarpa. They're the most comfortable things I've ever worn. However, before you go online and buy the exact same boots that I've got, remember to go to a shop and try them on, because it's a very personal thing. A small niggle while you're wearing shoes like that in a shop can become a massive problem when you're on a fell, because a little rub, you're like, oh no, I'll get away with that. After you've walked 8 or 10 miles up a fell, won't just be a rub, it'll be a blister, it'll be doing your head in, and all you'll be thinking about is your feet. So make sure you always go try walking shoes on. I'll be doing a video in the not too distant future of the walking gear that I've got. Walking gear you need to spend money on, walking gear you can really get away with spending money on, and that's coming up in a future video. And the final question is, where did you get your blackout curtains for your van? So that's quite an easy question to answer. The ones that I've got are blackout curtains from Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below. But do bear in mind that the ones that I've got and the ones that will be in the link don't go all the way to the bottom. There's about a foot difference, but I noticed it didn't really matter, because when you're in bed, you're higher than that anyway. And unless you're being stealth, you don't really need them to go all the way to the floor. What I do when I am being stealth is I just shove my bag in that little gap where the handbrake is, and there's no problems there at all. The pole that holds them up, because I know that's the next question that's coming, is just a twisty extendable pole that's kind of on a tension system. The more you twist it, the tighter it gets, and then you can just hang your curtains on them. So hopefully I can find the link in my previous orders, because I ordered them such a long time ago, and I'll pop them in the description below. If I can't find the exact ones I've got, I'll put some very similar ones in there as well. So I hope that answers all of your questions, and that now is the end of
Colin answered your questions. Like all of my campouts, once the filming is done, it's time to sit back with a beer, enjoy my fire pit, and usually fall asleep in my chair before retiring to bed. But now, the inevitable time has come for your campsite tour. Enjoy. Home Farm, a dog and family friendly campsite just outside Sedbergh, is almost in Yorkshire. In fact, its ceremonial county is Cumbria. However, it's within the borders of the Yorkshire Dales National Park, so I'm going with Yorkshire on this one, just because. This site is open between May and September, and the mobile reception was okay. I was getting about 2 bars of 4G on Vodafone. It's a very basic site with no on-site shop, but you can buy logs from them for £4 a bag should you wish. There are 2 unisex shower cabins, both with toilets, and 4 separate toilets without showers. The showers were very clean and get extra bonus points for not being push button. Warm and exactly what I needed after a day out in the hills. The rear of these cabins is an outdoor Elton point too. I couldn't find a pot wash area, or it wasn't that obvious while searching around. Maybe something they'll be added in the not too distant future. There are plenty of water taps dotted about, and all of the electric hookup points are on the right hand side as you enter the site. There are no hard standing pitches, but I prefer grass pitches anyway. There is a kids playing area with picnic tables, and it wouldn't be a proper campsite tour if I didn't test the swings out, would it? The views are lovely. Hills in one direction and green fields as far as the eye can see in the other direction, and with plenty of walks from the site. There's even a fenced off dog exercise area too. I chose an electric grass pitch for one night, and it cost me just £20. Not bad when compared to other sites in the area. Stay tuned for the outtakes next, but for now, it's time for me to go, and I shall see you all next week. Stay awesome, and above all, be kind.
Below. My legs are still sore from So I'm a little bit anxious to see what tonight's campsite is like because
The pull out. Sorry mate, I don't want to get too offensive. Hopefully you can edit it in a way that's quite amusing and people don't think it's real.
I'm going to visit something that has been... Let's get my breath back. Oh, I should have missed the camera going up. Maybe 20 minutes and then you get the same view. Oh, there we go, there goes the wind. That was ace. Well done, Colin. But you'll get to see him before I do now. Don't slam the camera. Glad I didn't deck it. Just got the fire pit on, and now it's time for... your questions. The first question that I've been asked is... Yeah, that'll be mint. So the short answer to that is no, not yet. And it's not because we don't want to do it. Frickin'. I'm doing Colin answers your questions and I'm halfway through it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm loving this swappy. Let's do that once more. This is a very simple question to ask. This is a very simple question to answer. So this is quite an easy one to answer. And what I'll also tell you about, let me just put some wood on fire. Guess it's gone. Freaking bad. Put some wood on the fire, don't burn your hand. 'Cause you need them for your job.